character traits today, and remember, character traits describe what kind of person somebody is. Now, the way we're going to focus on it are by these 4 categories. They're actions. An action is something that a character does, okay? We're going to look at their thoughts. That's what a character is thinking in their head. Now, this third one is dialogue. The word dialogue means what a character says. Like right now, you guys are listening to my dialogue because I'm talking to you, okay? And then our last one are feelings, how a character feels about something. That could also be considered a character trait. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the actions of a character, and then we're going to talk about what kind of trait does that character have. Okay, we're going to start with Mr. Brandon. Brandon glanced at his math assignment and sighed. It would take too long to do these 5-story problems. He quickly scribbled some random numbers down, and he slammed his book shut. Done. And he thinks he's done. So I want you to think for just a moment, what kind of character trait is Brandon showing? Okay, so he got his 5-story problems. He said, I don't care about this, I'm just going to scribble, I'm going to be done. And I'm going to let you talk for just a moment to your neighbors and talk about what kind of character trait is he showing. Bada boom, teach.
Bada boom, hey.
Brandon, who thinks they know a character trait for Brandon? Yes, ma'am.
Pessimistic.
Pessimistic, which means?
Negative person.
What evidence do I have right here that he's just being negative?
He doesn't want to do his homework and he just scribbles on it.
Yeah, he didn't even try. So I could say he did not try at all. He's being very pessimistic. He's being negative. We could also say he's being something else. What do you think?
I don't know how you say it, but it's like deceitful, where he's tricking them in
Well,
a way because he's like scribbling saying he's done even though he just scribbled on it.
Well, I can see where you said that. Like, if it kept going and it said he turned his paper into his teacher and told her, I did try hard, then he would be deceitful. But he hasn't done that yet. So far, all he did was write some numbers and close it. He's being very lazy. What is it? Lazy. He didn't even try. So his actions of just scribbling and shutting his book is showing me he's being a very lazy or pessimistic person. Okay. Now, if we look at this other side, we have thoughts. Sometimes we can think about what a character is thinking in their head, and we can figure out what kind of person they are. Kelly wondered what would happen if she told her dad that her mom said the sleepover was okay. And then if she told her mom that her dad had already approved the sleepover. And Kelly grinned. I think it will work. Based on what she was thinking about doing to her mom and her dad, I want you to talk about what kind of person or character trait Kelly has. Woo! Teach!
Woo!
We are paying attention to Kelly and what she was thinking about doing. I want to know, what is her character trait? What kind of person is she being? What do you think? Deceitful. And deceitful means a person's doing what?
Playing tricks or
Tricking or lying. She's trying to get away with going to a sleepover, so she told Mom, Dad already said yes. She told Dad, Mom already said yes. She's trying to trick them to get her way. So Kelly's thoughts let me know she's a deceitful person, okay? Now our third one is dialogue. Remember, dialogue is when somebody's doing what? Speaking. So they're talking to somebody. This is how we're going to split the work, Daniela said sternly. I will work on the poster. You two are going to work on the speech and what we're going to say for the presentation. Okay. Sternly means she said it like that, kind of harshly. And she said what she was going to do, and she told them what they were going to do. So I want you to think of a character trait for her, and on this particular one, it may not be one that's on the board. You may have to come up with how she's acting. Capiche? All right, bada boom, teach. I'm thinking about Daniela. What she said, how she said it. I want to know a character trait. What do you think?
She's being bossy.
Ooh, is she being bossy? Is she telling other people what to do? Yeah, did she ask them, hey, what part do you want to do? No, she didn't ask. Did she try to let them talk about any part of the project? No, she was just like, this is what I'm doing, this is what you're doing. She's being very, very bossy. And I know that because of what she said. Yes, sir?
And she's being insensitive.
Yes, insensitive means she doesn't care about their feelings, right?
And sassy and bossy.
She's being lots of things.
And mean.
I agree with everyone you just said. Now, our last one that we're going to look at, and I kind of like this one, is feelings. It's how a person feels about something on the inside. This is about Mr. Seth. When Seth saw the pile of junk, a feeling of excitement bubbled up inside of him. He couldn't wait to begin building an object that he had already imagined in his head. Okay, so he saw a pile of junk, got excited, he's imagining what he's going to create. I want you to talk about his character trait based on his feelings. La la la, teach. I want to think about Seth, how he felt about the pile of junk. What kind of person do I think he's going to be? Yes, ma'am. Optimistic, which means he's being very what? Yeah, he's being very positive. He's being positive. A lot of people would see a pile of junk and be like, why is this junk in my yard? Somebody throw it away. Instead, he was being positive, wasn't he? What else was Seth being?
Curious, because he was curious if he could use that pile of junk to make something.
I agree. And, well, actually, before I say my other one, because I agree with you, what was your character trait? Very creative. He didn't have like markers and construction paper and art supplies. He had a pile of junk and he's like, I'm going to build something really cool. So he was being a very creative person. So when we're trying to decide character traits for somebody, we're going to infer them. We talked about how when you are going to infer something, you're saying what you think is true, but you have to have evidence. You have to have a reason to pick that. So for our actions, our thoughts, our dialogue, and our feelings, we were able to look at that, and that was my evidence to be able to infer their character trait. Okay? Now I'm going to read a couple of sentences, and based on these sentences, you are going to pick which one of these 6 words is the character trait. Remember, optimistic, they're being positive about everything. Pessimistic, they are negative about everything. Insensitive, they do not care about how another person is feeling. Compassionate, they care a lot about another person's feelings. Deceitful, lying or tricking someone. Or courageous, they're being brave even though they're scared. Okay, so let's look at one of these examples. It says, as soon as Rachel woke up on the first day of school, she peeked out of the window. There wasn't even a sliver of sunshine poking through. But that didn't matter. This was going to be the best school year yet. Think, don't say it, but think about which one of these character traits you think she's using. No sunshine. That's okay. This is going to be the best school year yet. Blow it in your hand. Throw it to me.
Optimistic.
I agree. She could have been like, oh, this is not going to be a good day. But instead, she chose to be optimistic.
That's a positive.
Let's try another one. On this one, it says, as Gavin struggled to read the paragraph aloud, Callie rolled her eyes and sighed loudly. When Gavin read a word incorrectly, Callie immediately spoke up and corrected him. Think about which one of these character traits she's showing based on her actions. Think you know it. Blow it in your hand. Throw it to me.
Doesn't care about anybody.
Yeah, doesn't care about anybody, which we are going to call that character trait insensitive. She doesn't realize that she's hurting Gavin's feelings, or she may realize it and she doesn't care. So she's being very insensitive. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Also being pessimistic.
Yeah, she's being pessimistic too because she's like, oh, it's taking forever. I don't like this. All right, and we're going to try one more. Let's do... Unlike his brother, Daniel didn't feel at all sorry about telling his mom the lie. In fact, he felt proud that he came up with such a believable story. Blow his character trait in your hand. Throw it to me.
Deceitful.
Deceitful. He was proud of his lie. He was trying to trick his parents. Okay? So you can tell that we can actually use our evidence from our text to pick a character trait. And that's something that we're going to try today.